Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, I gotta get serious because this is serious, okay? Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will be talking about my gastric sleeve surgery, or commonly known as VSG. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little nervous. It took me so long to record this video. I am not good at really expressing myself or telling people my business, but I just feel like I have gotten a lot of questions and a lot of people have noticed that I lost a lot of weight, so I do want to kind of explain the process, why I chose to do it, where I went to have surgery, and most importantly how much it cost, and also why I chose not to have it in the United States. And then obviously I will go through my stats, insert a few pictures and videos from the process, just so you guys can kind of get a really good look inside of the journey itself. So far I will be 10 months officially on the 27th of July. And I'm down 114 pounds so far since the surgery. So first off, I just want to say I would like for this page to be a safe space for everybody, because I am going to be sharing how much I weighed, what I weighed at my biggest, and also where I am right now, and I've really never shared that before, so that's kind of like me getting over a fear. So I just would like this page to be a safe space, so if you have some crazy stuff to say, you will be blocked off of my page. And I did write a few things down so that I'm not going all over the place with my thoughts, because that could happen with me. I would just get to talking. But anyway, so I did have the gastric sleeve surgery, and so basically what that is, or what it aims to do, is promote weight loss and improve overall health for people who have a BMI of 40 or above, and basically get 80% of your stomach cut off. And I had my procedure done in Mexico, in Tijuana, Mexico, at Renew Bariatric Center. The total cost was $4,100. So basically the procedure was $4,000 and the hotel stay is $100. So you get to stay in a hotel. You could choose to stay in a hotel the day before your procedure or after you leave the hospital. I chose not to do a hotel stay at all. I stayed at the hospital, and then once it was time to leave the hospital, my mom and I went straight home. All of the things that's included in that price is obviously your surgery, your medication. So they give you pain medication, acid reflux medication, and also antibiotics, just for to prevent any infection. And also your companion stay and travel, and then your stay and travel and your food. It does not include your companion's food, but like my mom, she bought food, and it does not include your airfare. So I think I spent like $250 on my flight there and back to San Diego. So I would say roughly I spent about $43 $50 on everything. And so basically what you have to do is, or what I did was, I called them and I had like a consultation over the phone with one of the surgery coordinators. And she told me a lot about the hospital itself and how it's actually a U.S. owned company just in Mexico, because obviously medical procedures and stuff like that is very cheap in Mexico compared to the United States. And that was one of my decisions as to why I wanted to do Mexico, aside from the fact that you could do your surgery 2 weeks after booking. So for example, I booked in July, and I was going to have my surgery in August, but then I ended up pushing it back until September because I had personal things going on at the time. But you could literally call them, do your consultation, get approved, and you can book it 2 weeks out, because you have to do a 2 week pre-op diet to shrink your liver and stuff like that. So you could do it right away. Whereas in the United States, you have to go through a program, and the potential cost in the United States is around $20,000, but you could get approved with your insurance. However, you still have to go through the program where you have to do like therapy, weight loss, and just like a bunch of stuff, and it takes around like 6 months. And I kind of wanted to just like do it. I was like really at my breaking point, and I just wanted to kind of get it all over with. So that's one of the reasons I chose Mexico. And another reason why I chose to go to Mexico instead of having it done in the United States is because I'm in a few groups on Facebook, and I will put the links below if you guys are interested in joining those groups. And a lot of people were experiencing complications, more to me it seemed like, who had the surgery done in the United States. Like, that's just my opinion. You know, I don't really think that's like a fact or whatever, but just from like all the statuses or posts that was being made, like of people experiencing complications, were more coming from the United States to me. So, and of course I did do my research beforehand, and I also knew a few other people who had gotten the surgery done by the doctor that I went to as well. Basically, like I said, you travel to San Diego, and then they have a driver pick you up straight from the airport, and they will drive you to Tijuana. It's about a 30-minute drive, and then you just have to cross the border. Going did not take us long at all to get across the border. They just asked for our identification, and I honestly don't even think they asked for our birth certificates right away. I think that's more for coming back into the United States. They just asked for our identification, and they asked for the driver's, like where he worked and why we were coming there, and we went through the medical lane, and we were in right away. He dropped my mom and I off at the hospital, and literally the lab was downstairs. I checked in, I gave them my ID. They asked me a few questions about COVID, and I went straight to get lab work done, and I was like ready for surgery. They gave me my room that we would be staying in, and it's a bed in there for your companion, and obviously it's a bed for you, and a bathroom as well with a shower. Everything was like clean. The nursing staff was really helpful in answering all of my questions. I got gowned up. I put my Ted Ho socks on, and basically my surgery was like a couple of hours later. I had got my IV put in, and then my doctor came and I met him. He was very nice. We talked for a little while, and he just was telling me like what to expect after coming out of surgery. And then before I knew it, I was getting wheeled down to have the surgery. Coming out of surgery was probably the worst part about having the gastric sleeve done. I felt like I had a lot of anesthesia And I was like going, compared to like other surgeries that I've had, and I was just like going in and out, just like in and out. And so like to the point where I'm just like, I just have to sleep. Like I can't even like really move or anything. I don't know, it was just like weird for me. And so I'm just like, let me just calm myself down and like just go to sleep. But the gas pain, because they use like gas to blow your stomach up. I don't know, it looks like a freaking sausage. It's pretty gross. But like, so they use gas and they inflate it, I guess. And so all of that gas releasing, it gives you, it's like really painful. Like, and after surgery, they'll check and see how much gas is still in your stomach, and they'll tell you you have to walk. Like I had to walk so much just to make sure that gas was moving and releasing, because you do not want that to kind of like get stuck. So I think that was the most pain that I really felt. I really did not have any like significant pain. Like I wasn't in pain at all. I didn't really feel like I just got 80% of my stomach taken out of my body, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't a lot of pain, it was just a lot of gassiness. And so the next day I was up, I showered. Obviously you don't want to bend and things like that, because you can like be at risk of like, what do you call it? Ripping your incision where they sewed your stomach together or whatever. So you were on like lifting restrictions and stuff like that, just like normal procedure. However, you do have to do like a swallow study, which is terrible because you really can't eat anything or swallow anything. I didn't have an appetite at all. And it's this like nasty stuff they put down, and you can like literally see it on the x-ray machine, like going down, and like they're making sure you don't have any leaking. And then once you don't have any leaking, which that is obviously really good, you are on your way to healing. You go through 5 stages, and then your 5th stage is like this, kind of like the stage that you are in for like the rest of your life or whatever. And you basically go through a liquid diet. So while I was at the hospital, I was only able to eat Jell-O. If you go to Renew Bariatrics, that Jell-O is horrible. It is so nasty. I've never tasted anything like it in my life. I was like, this is horrible. Why would you all serve this to somebody? I cannot eat this. I don't know what you all expected of me, but this is not gonna go down. And also, they gave me, and it was sugar-free Jell-O, and I had sugar-free Gatorade. It was horrible. And then I think the only thing I was able to keep down was the broth, the chicken broth I had, and water. And they constantly was checking for dehydration as well. So he was checking like my tongue and stuff like that for dehydration purposes. Other than that though, only thing I was able to keep down was soup or broth. I refused a lot of the Gatorade and stuff like that, but I was drinking water. I did not get dehydrated while I was there. In fact, I actually did not experience my first like case of being dehydrated until like a month out. I actually had to go to the hospital and get fluids because I was like super dehydrated. I didn't really experience that. So I'm not gonna like go into like super detail about the eating stages and stuff like that, because I feel like if you are interested in getting this surgery, you should have already kind of like did your research and understood what the stages are. It's basically liquid diet, puree, mechanical soft, and then you can do like soups, and then the 5th stage is the stage that you stay in, and you know to stay away from like sugary foods. You should be getting about 60 to 75 grams of protein in. and you must take your vitamins. I do not take the bariatric vitamins. I get my vitamins from Target. I can and will do a video about the different brands and how long it took me to find the vitamins that worked for me. But yeah, I do not do the bariatric vitamins. They are nasty. I tried the patches. I just take one vitamin. Aside from all of my little other supplements I take, but like one vitamin, it works. I got my labs done, and my labs are regular. So I would say find what works for you, and that's why it's important to do the research on the procedure, the details about what it takes and what it's going to take for you, the amount of money and resources you'll need after the fact is also necessary to look into. I'm not a doctor. I don't want you to make your decision based solely off of this video. I'm going to try to provide as much fact as I can, but a lot of this is just my own experience. So with that being said, you will have to, some of the things in my recovery that I experienced was dumping syndrome, which I will go into a little bit of detail about that, overeating, undereating, and then I was a little bit depressed when I came back from surgery, just because I did not know the severity of what I would feel, because it's so weird because you are not in a lot of pain. Like I've had a few surgeries before this one, and like you're in a lot of pain, you can't walk, or like when I had my tonsils removed, I could not talk. I could feel like the scars when I swallowed, it hurt. Like with this, you are truly not in pain. You just have to kind of like remind yourself to walk and just to slow down and to rest. But you will have to like confront your relationship with food. And so that was like one of my hardest realizations, I guess you could say, was my relationship with food and the fact that I could not eat a lot of stuff. Like I could not eat anything. I swear to you, the only real like thing that could go down and stay down was bacon. Like I survived off of low sodium bacon, turkey bacon, soups, and I struggled with my protein drinks, so I would do like protein powder and orange juice and stuff like that. I will have like a list of things that really got me through those first couple of months and first like couple of stages of the procedure. I skipped over the pureed. I shouldn't probably even say this, but I did not do that. I was not mushing my meat. I was not eating no dang on mush ham. I don't even know how people can do that. That's gross. And more power to you if you did. But I literally just did protein shakes and I chewed my bacon until it was goddamn gum, okay? That's how I got through it. But I did fall into a very depressed state. I actually had like a couple of anxiety attacks, and I was just like talking to my mom about it, and I was trying to figure out if I was regretting the surgery or not. But I think it was just me confronting my relationship with food and how unhealthy it was, and just realizing like, okay, you really have to put the work in, and like just know that the surgery itself is just a tool to help you. It's not going to be like I have the surgery and I'm gonna be down 100 pounds in a day and I'm not gonna want to eat the food that I'm used to eating. Like we have almost like an addiction to food. Like when you're struggling with weight loss, it's not because you are good at dieting and you're good at going to the gym and being consistent. No, you have struggles, and you know, you truly are like having to unlearn these unhealthy relationships that you created with food. And in my case, it was pop. I loved pop, or even Starbucks. Like my relationship with Starbucks was sick. It's a little bit better now though. So I did experience a small like case of being depressed after surgery, and I had like small regrets, but after a while and just like relearning a few things and creating healthier habits, like I used to write, or I would meditate and listen to affirmations in the morning, because I really had to like find different coping mechanisms other than like food, because I literally could not eat the stuff that I used to eat. Like, it would literally make me sick. So dumping syndrome, that is a horrible thing. I do not wish that on my worst enemy, and it does happen, and it will happen if you do not stick to the diet. Like, now I do not experience dumping. Now that I'm 10 months out, I don't really experience it, and I don't like my diet. I don't really worry about the sugar intake and stuff like that. Although I don't eat a lot, still after 10 months I get full fast. I'm starting to understand what foods make me full that I stay away from, and also like, yeah, I don't really experience dumping syndrome like I did in the early stages of after having the surgery. So basically what that is like when you eat like a lot of food with a lot of sugar in it, it doesn't digest, like it goes like just straight through you, and your heart rate goes up, you get like sweats, and you poop, like you have to poop right away, like you can almost like poop on yourself, like you need the bathroom right away, and you like poop out so much, it's like so disgusting, and your heart rate, it feels like your heart is gonna like beat out of your chest. It's the worst thing in the world, and like you really need to stay away from certain stuff because like it is bad. So like, say for example, if I want to eat like a muffin, could not do that. Like, yeah, it's soft, it like it'll go down, you know, it won't really like hurt your stomach, but it will like really make you just like poop and sweat, and it's a lot. It's scary, you think you're dying. I just would not recommend that. My first time experiencing overeating also can lead into like a feeling of dumping syndrome too. I was actually at the bowling alley with my family, and I was eating some tater tots because I was finally out of one of my little stages, and I was in the mechanical soft stage, and you can eat like mashed potatoes and stuff like that, and I was like eating tater tots, and I'm like, oh my god, these things are so good, finally I can eat. And I subconsciously overate, and like that is the second worst thing like other than dumping syndrome, because like you literally spit it back up, like your body cannot take it, and your stomach will start hurting, and like it's like a thick like mucus that comes out of your mouth. It's super disgusting, and if you know me, I do not like snot and spit and all that kind of stuff, so it's very disgusting, and you literally like throw it back up. It's horrible. If you are getting the surgery, or if you are like you had it and you're just now entering like your stages, just be mindful not to overeat. Really look and like portion out your food. And I know like when you are starting to move up in your stages, it gets exciting to eat foods that you're used to eating, or you know, like just haven't had in a while, but you really have to be mindful. Once your body says you are done, just be done. Another key thing is actually listening to your doctors when they say wait 30 minutes to drink something after you eat. One of the main reasons they say that is because when you eat, it pushes your food, and your body is not allowing your body to receive all the nutrients from the foods that you're eating, because you're kind of like flushing it down really fast, because you have to remember that you only have 20% of a stomach now. Like your stomach is now a sleeve. So when you drink, so like if I eat an apple and then drink some water right after eating the apple, I'm flushing it too fast and my body is not even receiving all of the nutrients from the apple. So I should at least wait 30 minutes. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't wait 30 minutes. I probably will take sips of like water or a juice or a Gatorade after I eat, just because I'm getting better and I'm getting like used to my new stomach more. But like, this was all of the things that I really took serious in the beginning stages, because you could really feel it. Like, you can feel the difference and you could feel what your body would be doing, or the changes, or kind of like the achy feeling. And honestly, it does hurt. Like, it does hurt if you eat and drink. And sometimes now, like, if I feel like I'm overeating, like at a restaurant or something, and I drunk like some of my drink or whatever I have at the table, I will feel full and it will actually hurt. And it will take like 10 to 20 minutes for my stomach to like kind of like rest a little bit. So you do have to be mindful of that, and also really take that serious, like the 30 minutes, waiting 30 minutes before you drink something. And that is definitely a challenge, because we are so used to eating and drinking at the same time. Like, that's just like our norm. But even if you don't have the surgery, you should try to like practice that. I definitely do think that I struggled with undereating and mostly receiving my protein. That was one of my biggest concerns in the beginning stages of my recovery post-op. My post-op recovery was definitely undereating, because I felt like I was getting full fast, and I was also comparing my intake to like individuals in the group and stuff. So I really had to get away from that and just had to understand that I had to find things that worked for me. So I wasn't getting my protein in a lot, and it was kind of making me drowsy when I went, because I went back to work after 2 weeks. I didn't wait like 4 weeks or nothing like that. I just went right back to work. I found this protein, the Gen Pro protein. You can get it on Amazon. It's like $43, and you get 11 grams of protein per serving. And I would just drink that with my orange juice. That was literally the best way, and it's still a way that I get my protein in. Because everybody like in the VSG community, or like on the Facebook groups that I have, swore by those Premier protein shakes, and that shit is so nasty. Like, I've tried so many of the flavors, especially like that little coffee caramel one, whatever the hell everybody is so in love with. That shit is so nasty. Like, I could not keep it down. And I also could not keep Herbalife down, and I used to love Herbalife. Like, before I had my gastric sleeve surgery, I would like live off of those, trying to lose weight and stuff like that. Even when I did the 2-week diet, that's what I was using for protein. But no, that shit is gross. I could not do it. But I found what works for me, and that was the Gen Pro. I even tried the protein water. I can't think of it right now, but I tried the protein water, and oh my gosh, I couldn't even believe people were saying that stuff was like good. I really couldn't even believe it. It was like horrible. So I found the Gen Pro to work better for me, and I found that it tastes better with orange juice or Crystal Light. Those are the two that I like it with. And that was that. Okay. So, so far we've talked about what exactly VSG is, the different stages, kind of the process of actually going to Mexico from San Diego, and how much it cost, and actually like where I went, like the name of the center. And now I want to kind of like shift gears into why I made the decision to get the gastric sleeve surgery in the first place. So in 2019, I was diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. And that was after I had my miscarriage that I was diagnosed with PCOS. And so after that, I found that I was really struggling with losing weight, hormone imbalance, and just like I had developed high blood pressure, and I was considered pre-diabetic as well. So a lot of people don't really know what PCOS is, so I went and got a definition of what it is. So it's polycystic ovary syndrome, and it says it's a condition in which the ovaries produce an abnormal amount of androgens, which is a male sex hormone, and it's usually present in women in small amounts. So basically, this is a hormonal disorder causing enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the outer edges. And the symptoms, well, the most common symptoms are infertility, obesity, and acne. Some women experience like facial hair. Some women have a lot of acne. I don't have a lot of acne, but where my acne is present is like on my chin area and on like right here in this area. I don't experience, or I haven't experienced like any facial hair or anything like that. I found that I have heavier periods. I get really depressed when my cycle is coming, and sometimes I ovulate more than once in a month. I have extremely heavy periods, and they can last up to 7 days. I also have painful periods, and I get super sick, so I can throw up a lot. Like a lot of times when I'm PMSing, I sleep a lot, I throw up a lot, and I have like zero appetite at all. Like I get really uncomfortable, and I get really sick. So basically, in a nutshell of how it was explained to me is like, when your egg falls, right, and you know, like the process of having your period, so your egg falls and it's waiting, it sits there and it waits to meet a sperm. When it doesn't meet a sperm, it goes down and releases, and that's what creates your period. Well, sometimes women with PCOS, our egg doesn't drop, and it goes on the outside of our ovary, and then it turns into a cyst. And that's why some women don't have regular periods, and that's why it's hard for us to have pregnancies. Like we have infertility issues because we don't have normal periods, and that is the cause of that. And then I also have 4 fibroids that I'm currently battling with as well. So that is also super uncomfortable. And my fibroids flares up when I eat too much sugary foods, and when I'm stressed out. And obviously weight plays a part in that as well. So it's kind of like PCOS and fibroids do not work with each other. It really works against each other, and they both cause each other to flare, and I'm just like constantly feeling miserable. And I remember finally just breaking down and talking to my mom and my sister. Like I am like literally so miserable. Like walking hurts. Like my back would hurt so bad because I would have it just felt like a knot was just sitting back there. And a lot of the doctors will say stuff like, well, it will help and it would be beneficial if you would lose the weight. Well, honestly, I really truly struggled with losing weight. But if you knew me, you knew that I was super athletic. I loved going to the gym. I could eat right and all those things. I mean, at one point in my life in 2017, I was completely alkaline vegan. And try to insert a couple of pictures of how I was like really truly the healthiest. And I really feel like that was why I was able to get pregnant at that point in my life, because I was like really healthy, eating right and things like that. But it seems like as soon as I was diagnosed, I like gained so much weight, and then it just all was just like, I don't know, counterproductive and worked against each other. Like I needed to lose weight, but I couldn't lose weight because I was getting depressed. I was depressed and I ate more, and my hormones was like just all over the place, and I can't lose weight. I'm struggling. I was doing like HCG. I was trying to intermittent fasting. Like I was doing everything and nothing was like working at all. And then not to mention all the things like I was going through in like my personal life. And before you knew it, I just like blew up. Like, not to mention we went through COVID in 2020, and like I'm just eating like, you know, just nothing was right. My metabolism was just like way off, and I'm like, I need to do something. Like my blood pressures were horrible. It was even to the point where I was taking blood pressure medication. And so it was just like really bad. And then like the pre-diabetes scared me because my grandma and my dad has diabetes, and then on my mom's side my grandpa has diabetes. And so I'm just like, you know what, this is like getting out of control. And I just started to dive more into doing my research and just trying to figure out what would be the best option. And I'm not gonna lie, like the VSG surgery, like all of the YouTubers that I follow and TikTokers, like it was kind of intimidating because I'm like, this is a really big risk. Like if you rip something, like if you rip your incision, or if you have a leak, or if it's like you have to get to fix it, you have to do the bypass. And I'm like, dude, it'll just be my luck if something happened. But at the same time, I was just like so tired of carrying all of that on top of everything that I was going through. So I'm like, you know what, just forget it. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to focus in and do the work. One of my biggest drawbacks though, I didn't want like the loose skin. I was like very self-conscious about how the weight would come off, but I feel like I quickly got over that because I just knew that I needed to do this lifestyle change. And to be honest with you, it truly is a lifestyle change. Like now, just looking back, I do not struggle with high blood pressure anymore. I am not on any medication for high blood pressure. I am not pre-diabetic. I'm still struggling with PCOS and figuring that stuff out, but my periods are like slowly becoming way shorter. Even like this last one that I just had was not 7 days at all, so that's exciting. And to be quite honest with you, they're not as heavy as they used to be, even though I still like get blood clots and stuff, and those are still a struggle, but it's very common when you have PCOS. I would say like my periods are way lighter. Like I used to have to wear pads and tampons, like super tampons and pads all at the same time, and like worry about messing up my clothes and everything. And I don't really experience that anymore. I think if I do it, it's more so because I'm used to it. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And another reason why I personally chose this route is just because I wanted to have a better chance at conceiving. Like all of my doctors will say, well, you know, you will have better chances of, you know, having children with PCOS if you lose the weight. Well, everybody with PCOS knows that it's extremely hard. So I just really wanted to use the gastric sleeve surgery as a tool to help me, because I know that having children is one of my long-term goals. Like I really, really want to bear my own children. I don't want to have a surrogate, or, you know, I don't feel like it's nothing wrong with adopting, but I do want to experience having a child. So those are some of the main reasons why I decided to have the surgery. And obviously because I was just tired of being heavy. I was not used to being heavy like that. I was always like, I guess you could say big boned and, you know, had thighs and butt and stuff like that. But like I wasn't used to being that heavy. So I guess I will now go on to my stats, I guess you could say. Before surgery, I was 347 pounds. That was my highest weight that I ever got to. My BMI was about 47. I had high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic. Obviously, I have PCOS still. I was in, I think the largest shirt I got up to was a 4X. I was in a size 22 for pants. And then like my leggings would be like a 3X, 2X, you know. I only really wore Target leggings. And now, currently, I am 233 pounds. My BMI is 32.5. I am no longer taking high blood pressure medication, and I am also no longer pre-diabetic. Right now, I am in a medium to small shirt. My pants range anywhere from like a 10 to a 14. And I say it ranges because like for example, American Eagle jeans just fit different than a Target pair of jeans. So it just depends on where I go to get the jean, or if it's like a stretchier material, something like that. But I found that my range so far has been a 10 to a 14. And then for leggings, I am comfortably at an extra large. I can fit a large, but I like my leggings to fit kind of loose. I don't like real tight leggings, so I like an extra large. So I officially am 114 pounds down in 10 months. Not really 10 months yet, but on the 27th it'll be 10 months. So there is that. I do want to kind of talk about some of the things that I personally just like struggle with on my own, that I found that I struggle with a lot with the surgery, real quick, because this video is kind of long. But one thing that I found that I kind of like am struggling with, that I didn't really realize I would be struggling with, is finding my size and stuff. Like I feel like I am buying clothes and throwing away clothes a lot. Like especially in the first couple of months, I did not think that I would lose the weight as fast as I was losing it. So I was giving away a lot of stuff that still had tags on it, and it was just like a lot for me. But at the same time, I'm like, well, whatever, it is what it is. So if you do not want to do that, I would recommend just like wearing leggings and t-shirts a lot, even though that's boring, and just buying stuff like as you need it, because you will be like recycling or just like going through clothes, like kind of like, it reminds me of like babies. Like you get all that stuff for a baby shower and then you just have to kind of like throw it away. So that's one thing. And then also just like everybody is always asking me like how I feel and do I feel different and stuff like that. But like honestly, I don't know. I think I was suffering a little bit with like body dysmorphia, because like I was still seeing myself as a heavier girl. And I still kind of do. Like sometimes I feel like for example, yesterday, one of my outfits that I had on, I felt like I had to tuck the shirt in and wear it like tight fitting, because like I didn't want to look bigger than I was, or, you know, and then I already had baggy pants on, which honestly, I just really truly feel like you really should be wearing clothes that complements your body shape anyway. I don't think, and other people, not gonna say any names, think that you can wear baggy pants and a baggy shirt at the same time, and I just don't feel like you should. Or I feel like if you are gonna wear a baggy shirt with baggy pants, then you have to wear a longer shirt. But that's just my opinion, and the pants should have a couple of holes in them, but that's just me. So but like, no, on a serious note, I do kind of like struggle with that, or just like, I think sometimes when I look in the mirror, I'm like, okay, girl, yeah, you did lose all that weight and you are way smaller. Or even like when other people take pictures of me, I'm like, dang, you really did lose all that weight. And it shows, you know. I think though that's one of my own like personal struggles, is just to kind of like remind myself that I'm not that same girl, and that I spent a lot of money, time, and energy into creating who I am now, and I'm not supposed to be the same, and it's okay to be different, but I also still want to just be mindful of where I come from, and I want to be mindful that other people are still struggling with the things that I used to struggle with. So I don't like to call myself like big or fat, or, you know, like just say mean things about myself anymore. I'm trying to get out of that, and I also just want to be mindful of where I've come from and how hard I've worked to get out of that space. And I also want to just kind of create a safe space for people to ask me questions, or be comfortable enough to ask me questions. And I feel like I've been doing a good job of that, because a lot of people ask me questions about the surgery and like about the procedure and stuff like that. Other than those few things, I feel like I have come to accept it. I am enjoying it. The scars don't bother me at all. Like my incisions, I have 5 incisions. I'm going to try to find pictures of my incisions and what I looks like at the hospital and stuff like that to insert in this video. I really am going to try to give you guys good content, so you guys can see what kind of like get a visual of what I am talking about. But other than that, I say if you are on the fence, I think that you should do your research and do what's best for you. A lot of times you will find that like a lot of people talk about women especially who go and get cosmetic procedures done, but to me, I just feel like if you need the help and you know you need the help, I've spent so much money on diets that don't work for me, and everybody is not mentally able to do diet and go to the gym all the time and stuff like that. So I feel like do what's best for you, come up with a solid plan and stick to it, because at the end of the day, you have to live with whatever decision that you make. And if you want to have a good healthy life and you feel like gastric sleeve or bypass or the band or 360 lipo will get you there, then do it. Whatever works for you, I say go for it. Whatever you can afford to do, I say go for it. If you want to work out and go to the gym all the time, I encourage that as well. But this was my journey, and I am falling in love with what I did and my decision making skills, my decision making when it comes to my own health. So that's all I have for you guys today. I will be posting another video next week Monday about my decision to do Lipo 360 along with my arms. I just had that procedure done in June of 2022. So I will be talking about that and giving you guys an exclusive look at the whole 7 days I was in Miami. I did go to Miami to get that procedure done. But I am not going to try to make this video longer than it needs to be. I truly hope that I answered a lot of questions that a lot of you have for me. And if I didn't, feel free to leave some comments below and I will try to answer them as best that I can for you guys. I appreciate you guys so much, and if you have not already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, and do not forget to hit the notification bell so that you will be notified every time I post a video. See you guys later.